Well, good morning, Mr Van Rompuy. You've been in office for 1 year, and in that time the whole edifice is beginning to crumble. There's chaos. The money's running out. I should thank you. You should perhaps be the pin-up boy of the Eurosceptic movement. But just look around this chamber this morning. Just look at these faces. Look at the fear. Look at the anger. Poor old Barroso here looks like he's seen a ghost. You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up, and yet in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system. And it's pretty clear that none of you have learned anything. You know, when you yourself, Mr Van Rompuy, say that the euro has brought us stability, I suppose I could applaud you for having a sense of humour, but isn't this really just the bunker mentality? You know, your fanaticism is out in the open. You talked about the fact that it was a lie to believe that the nation state could exist in a 21st century globalised world. Well, that may be true in the case of Belgium, who haven't had a government for 6 months, but for the rest of us, right across every member state in this union, and perhaps this is why we see the fear in the faces, increasingly people are saying, we don't want that flag, we don't want the anthem, we don't want this political class, we want the whole thing consigned to the dustbin of history. And we had the Greek tragedy earlier on this year, and now we have the situation in Ireland. Now, I know that the stupidity and greed of Irish politicians has a lot to do with this. They should never ever have joined the euro. They suffered with low interest rates, a false boom and a massive bust. But look at your response to them. What they're being told, as their government's collapsing, is that it would be inappropriate for them to have a general election. In fact, Commissioner Rehn here said they had to agree their budget first before they'd be allowed to have a general election. Just who the hell do you think you people are? You are very, very dangerous people indeed. Your obsession with creating this euro state means that you're happy to destroy democracy. You appear to be happy for millions and millions of people to be unemployed and to be poor. Untold millions must suffer so that your euro dream can continue. Well, it won't work, because it's Portugal next. With their debt levels of 325% of GDP, they're the next ones on the list, and after that I suspect it will be Spain. And the bailout for Spain would be 7 times the size of Ireland, and at that moment all of the bailout money has gone. There won't be any more. But it's even more serious than economics, because if you rob people of their identity, if you rob them of their democracy, then all they are left with is nationalism and violence. I can only hope and pray that the euro project is destroyed by the markets before that really happens.
And this is a symptom of exactly what is wrong with our world. Nobody wants to be held accountable for anything. Just look at our governments. Everybody loves to complain about their government and the current state of affairs. But when you ask them what they are going to do about it, they usually shrug their shoulders or say, I don't do politics.
Well, see, the European Parliament is wrong.
I don't do politics. Surely they're not digging it up again.
You don't do politics, remember?
How come we never win anything?
Naughty, naughty. Politics.
£3.50?
Now then.
For crying out loud.
No.
Isn't someone going to do something? Well,
Oi!
Politics affects almost everything. So if you don't do politics, there's not much you do.
What? Last orders is... sorry.
It's time to start doing politics and getting involved. Representative democracy has to end. The only way our interests will ever be considered is if we move towards a system of direct democracy, where we decide our lives for ourselves, not just passing it off to some managerial class. The fable of Stone Soup is told as a lesson in cooperation and community. And although the characters might vary everywhere the tale is told, the plot ends with the optimistic realization that when each person makes a small contribution, the collective impact can be huge. Rahm Emanuel famously said,
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
And he is right. People need to realize that something very positive could come from our current situation. It's time to wake up. And not on some cosmetic, superficial level. It's time to stop blaming them or they. They are you. Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And as cliché and overused as this line might be, if we really want it, we can have it. And the next time bad decisions are made and we are looking for accountability, we need only look at ourselves.
I am part of the lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, but "we can make a difference" is a lie, because nothing ever changes. You are insignificant. Don't ever believe you are strong and powerful. I tell my children they are not special. You have to understand that our government knows what they're doing. It's wrong to presume that money is not important. I have my priorities straight because banks and corporations are more important than me and my family. I tell you this, once upon a time, people helped each other out. But this will not be true in my era. Greed is the root of human nature. Experts tell me the wars will be never ending. I do not concede that there will be world peace. In the future, we will trust our leaders completely. No longer can it be said that my opinions can influence others. It is evident that the world doesn't care about human rights. It is foolish to presume that there will be a revolution. And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. There will be a revolution. It is foolish to presume that the world doesn't care about human rights. It is evident that my opinions can influence others. No longer can it be said that we will trust our leaders completely. In the future, there will be world peace. I do not concede that the wars will be never ending. Experts tell me greed is the root of human nature. But this will not be true in my era. People helped each other out once upon a time. I tell you this, me and my family are more important than banks and corporations. I have my priorities straight because money is not important. It is wrong to presume that our government knows what they are doing. We have to understand that they are not special. I tell my children, you are strong and powerful. Don't ever believe you are insignificant. Nothing ever changes is a lie because we can make a difference. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world, and there will be a revolution.
There will come a day when the sons of our sons will tell their grandfathers that they took the squares in order to change their destiny. They did it to change everything they didn't believe in. As the world was getting smaller, they got together to build a new path, to create a new world. History is being written right now. Do you want to be part of it?